I'm Mishima Yuki, and you're listening to the Giant Sword Podcast, home of the second biggest group of Phantom Thieves ever. The first being me. Keck.
Hello, and welcome to this week's Giant Sword Podcast. I'm your party leader, Nick Lynn. Joining my party today is Taylor Hoyt.
Hey.
Jarrett Malone, right?
Hey.
Yeah, I got it right. Yes. Everyone knows him as Devil from the Discord, Devil's Cry.
Also one of the mods.
Also one of bracers. Bracers. They're called bracers.
Bracers.
It's like whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, he was at TwitchCon, so we were able to have him in studio, which is just my room, but you know.
Which is also a studio.
It is a studio.
Very cramped studio. But
Very cramped. Can you imagine if there's actually a bed in here?
And you sleep on the floor. It's fine. Yeah. Right next to Coco.
No, I don't. See, Coco's right here. And Coco's always there. All right? She doesn't move.
She's always there.
She's always watching. She was there when you came into the room, right? She wasn't on that.
Sure.
Yeah. That's what you say.
Yeah. I put it there just to make sure, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for joining us today. There's actually a pretty decent amount of news. Better than the last few weeks, where it was like no news. And a lot of sales numbers, Taylor. Do you want to do this, or do you want me to do it? Since you're usually our news guy.
Sure. Yeah, so the first bit of news, I didn't know about this until we started, but the .hack collection, .hack G last recode, shipments and digital sales top 300,000, which is pretty good, I think, for a remaster for a series that I never played, and I don't know how many people played it back in the day. I mean, they made a lot of them, because there were 2 trilogies, right?
This is the second one.
One was a trilogy, and one was a quadrilogy.
Oh, okay. Wow,
yeah.
Geez. So it shows you how much I know about this. But yeah, it's interesting that it sold well. Again, have either of you guys played any of them?
Well, I mean, I think I'm probably one of the biggest .hack fans in the Discord. So, you know, I bought it day one. Well, the remaster anyway.
Haven't played it yet, though.
Yeah, I've already beaten it.
Nice.
All
What did you think about it? Good remaster?
I thought it was okay. Sped up the gameplay. They made the game a little easier than I felt was necessary, to be honest, because the games were already easy. But yeah, water under the bridge, so I won't sit there and harp on it too much.
Because didn't they add like an extra story or something like that?
Yeah, they added a 4th volume, but it's really just a glorified epilogue, more or less.
Okay.
Gotta have that epilogue.
Yeah.
It's a requirement. It's not, you get points docked, in my opinion.
I know a lot of people wanted to see the first 4 games remastered, but I said, you'd have to do a complete overhaul for those games to even work. Because the combat is a little too menu-based for the type of game that it is.
Is it a Taylor game? Can Taylor play this remaster?
For GU, yeah, I could see him playing it. Yeah.
You can see him?
Is it more action combat?
Yeah, it's a little more action combat.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like it's in 60 frames per second now, so it's like they
nice.
increased the experience points. It's faster. It's like they just wanted to increase the overall pace, speed up things.
And that's what Taylor needs.
Oh yeah. Cool. That's one of those games I always want to get around to, but this year has just been so jam-packed. I'm knocking them out. There's really only a couple of games in my backlog that I need to get to. One of them being Dragon Quest, and that's probably like the longest game of the year. But yeah, I want to get to that at some point.
Yeah.
I need to get back to that. I really do.
I need to actually start playing that myself too.
Do you have it, Nick?
What?
The .hack thing?
Oh,
we're
no.
talking about Dragon Quest.
We're talking about Dragon Quest, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I finished Xenogears, and now I'm starting Torna. And I'm like, oh yeah, I need to play Dragon Quest, don't I?
I think so. And then speaking of more news, Falcom announced that Ys 8 has reached 500,000 sales worldwide, and I wasn't sure if that was like a good number, but Falcom, when I think about it, Falcom's a pretty small studio, so I think that's a pretty good number for them.
Yeah, for Falcom, it's a pretty good number.
If .hack GU was like celebrating 300,000. I think 500,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And so this is only in Japan so far, but it said to commemorate the occasion, a Christmas gift package, quote unquote, version for PS4 will release in Japan on December 20th for 4,800 yen, which I think is like $50 maybe, or $40 or something like that.
$45.
Yeah. Because with DLC, product code for a special PS4 theme with Christmas-style original background music and an avatar set also comes with 2 message cards, one's for you and one's to give to a friend as a gift. Oh, that's so cute. But yeah, that's awesome. Unfortunately, Ys had quite the debacle in the States with like the translation, and apparently it was a real problem on PC and stuff like that. But
is it still a problem on PC? Do you guys know?
I don't know. I've kind of lost track of that game.
Yeah, I haven't heard too much about the PC version in months. So.
Yeah.
But it's a great game. The PS4 version is, I feel like, the best version of that game. It probably runs the best, and it has the most content, I imagine.
No, the Switch version has
Switch has the most content.
Same much.
Well, does it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, it has PS4, has the PS4 content and swimsuit DLC?
Yeah, I think it's the swimsuits, and I think they added something else.
It was like old school add-all with like the armor with the red like undershirt or whatever from like Ys Origins, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
We need those
PS4
here.
was good. Which reminds me, I need to up my speedrun time. So they I don't think we talked about this because Nick hates speedrunning, but the speedrunners of Ys 8 cracked the thing like wide open. Apparently you can beat it in like 15 minutes. I don't know what they did or how they do it. Whoa. But they just like blew it open. So there's like this like unofficial speedrun and then like the hacker speedrun going around. So the official one is the one that I've been trying to do, and so the time is I think 1:38 or whatever. But whatever, it's fun.
Have you gotten below 2 hours yet?
No, I in fact I didn't know what my actual time was because I hadn't done it in so long. So I booted up OBS, and I think my time is 2 hours and 14 minutes, something like that. So I've got some time that I definitely need to shave off, but someday. Okay, so the next Atelier game is announced. Now I'm sure a lot of people listening. Wait a minute, we announced another Atelier game. I know we were just sort of talking about off camera Atelier Nelk and the Legendary Alchemist, which is like a all-star kind of Atelier game. But this one, breaking from tradition, at least from the recent releases, is going to be the 4th in the Arlen trilogy, or I guess it would be the quadrilogy now. So you play as, the game's called Atelier Lulua, the Scion of Arland, and you play as Rarona's daughter, who is the main character of the first of the Arlen trilogy. And so let me just kind of read the kind of the breakdown. So it'll be coming out spring 2019 for Switch, PS4, and Steam PC. Let's see. So details are Atelier Rarona, the Alchemist of Arlen, marked the beginning of the Arlen trilogy, or Arlen series. Now, following the events of Atelier Totori and Atelier Memoru comes an all-new story. The latest title is set in a world preceding the story of Atelier Atelier Memoru. The title depicts how characters and locations have changed over time, set in a world both nostalgic and new. The curtain lifts on another adventure of alchemists for the alchemists. But yeah, pretty much gonna be the same thing, I imagine. Going around doing alchemy, fighting monsters.
So this is
running a shop.
This is a sequel to the PS3 trilogy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
The one that was very bright in your room.
That was super bright. It was hurting my eyes.
Yep. But I'm excited. I haven't played. I keep saying that I want to get back into the Atelier games, but the last one I played was Shally, which was the last one on PS3. Have not played any of the PS4 ones, but they are re-releasing the Arlen trilogy on December 4th for Switch and PS4 and PC. And then, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to play those, but one of these 5, I want to get around to playing. Just because I really like those games. I played all of the Arlen games on PS3. I played Aisha, played Shally, and then like I said, I didn't play any of the PS4 ones. But Nick, you still have one on your shelf that you haven't played. I think it's still in the wrapping.
No, it's still in the wrapping. But yeah, Sophie. And then I got one right there, Iris 3. for the PS2.
Yeah, see, I've only played the PlayStation 2 games, like all 3 of the Iris games.
Are any of you guys interested in picking either this up or the other 4 Atelier games that are coming soonish?
So many coming out.
I mean, I'll pick up the PlayStation 4 remasters of the Arlen trilogy just to finally try them out.
They're good. The thing that kind of annoys me about them though is like Verona starts out very simple. Like you're just an alchemist, you own a shop, you do quests, and if you don't finish the quest by a certain time limit, then the game's over. So it's all about just doing quests. It kind of reminds me of Persona in a way, where you're like you have to beat the dungeon by a certain date, and then after that there's like some free time to go do whatever. But then Toturi is a little bit more open, and then Miru is really open, and then they kind of did a little bit of everything for the other ones. So I'm really curious to see how they do this one, if they bring it back to basics or they kind of keep it open. Or...
I think Ayesha was the one where they got rid of the time limit entirely.
Yeah, because that one was more of a story where you're like hopping between towns, if I remember right.
Yeah, because I think that's when they started adding more of a story.
The thing that kind of bugged me as the games went on is like the production values like kind of slowly revealed themselves. Like they had a lot of the same animations, and you know when they were talking and stuff like that, and it just like, oh my god, can you have more than like 3 animations? So, but it's addicting. It's like a super addicting game. You're just like doing quests, gathering, fighting, doing it all again. Of course, if you like cute anime girls.
Yeah, I was looking
that's
at
your game.
I was looking at the what's it called?
I think I even heard Maddie on that one.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Nelk, right? Nelk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, 1 second. Nelk, they announced a bunch of new characters, and they had a bunch of character art. And I'm like, man, this game is just cute. Like, everything is cute. Even the guys are just cute. Just everything in this game is cute. It's just really funny.
Yep. No, they are. They're all very cute.
And
So,
and also, you're on your comment about the same 3 animations. Would you rather have the same 3 animations or the free-flowing animations of Final Fantasy 15, where the characters are like, "So, are you doing anything today?" And
never let that one die.
it annoyed the hell out of me. It's like when I was talking to Cindy, she'd be like, "Yeah, so can you help me out? I need some items for my shop." And I'm like, "Look at me, woman! I'm right here."
I mean the thing where they like do like over gesture. It's like they do more gestures than they should whenever they speak.
Yeah, it's like
it's like in Sonic 06, like when he's talking.
Oh
to Sonic.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of Sonic 06.
That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. No, because there's like the old man where you go and talk to him. He's like telling you something, and he's all like this. His hands like floating in the air. And like there's a cutscene with Robotnik where he's talking to Elise, and he's like giving his speech, and he's all
over the top.
Over the top of this just.
Yeah, whenever I think of Final Fantasy 15, I think of Sonic 06 because of that. It's like, is this finished? Apparently not, because they're still working on it.
Nope, it's not finished. It'll never be finished.
Nope.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited. Just another. So I've made this list. I think I bring it up every week, but I
another damn list. Another damn list.
No. The list of all the JRPGs that are coming out this next year, or at least the ones that have been announced, and there's like 20 something. They're all gonna be. There's gonna be like 3 like amazing ones, and then the rest are gonna be like, maybe went on a sale.
Swimming on 7.
Like 7 out of 10s.
Yeah. Oh, I don't even know if it'll be 7 out of 10s. They might be lower than that, but we'll maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe some of them will like surpass expectations, like that one we were talking about last week, Nick, the Caligula effect or whatever.
Oh yeah, I was about to mention that too, Caligula. Well, I mean the PSP version is it's a very the frame rate is all over the place. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. Like the battle system's a neat concept, but that frame rate, if you can get past the frame rate, then yeah, it's a pretty fun time. But I know most people probably can't. And, oof. Yeah.
So,
Now the
we're not
remake looks awesome though. It's like exactly what I kind of pictured that type of battle system would look like. So I'm looking forward to that one.
Nice. Yeah, so what else? Okay, so the next piece of news. So there's been like this DLC that's sort of been floating out there for Ni no Kuni 2 for a long time. Like I remember they announced the season pass, and then they said there'd be a DLC coming out this year, and then there would be one in spring. And they still haven't put out one this year yet, but they have a name for it, and they have a few more details. So it said the title and contents of The Lair of the Lost Lord, the first large-scale downloadable content for Ni no Kuni 2, will be out this winter. Main offer will be the first blah blah blah. This is a super difficult dungeon that's even harder than the high difficulty Faraway Forest dungeon. Additionally, DLC is highlighted by a martial method system that creates an entirely new battle style that than seen thus far. Lots of new weapons, new quests, and yeah. So
Are there new enemy types? Because there's about 5 in that game.
I mean,
Yeah.
I imagine there must be something for the dungeon, probably. It doesn't specifically mention any new enemies, but I have to imagine that... so they mention this enemy called the Prince of the Wraths who runs this dungeon, so I imagine there must be something in the dungeon that's new, hopefully.
Yeah.
A new system
'cause
called the
enemy types
martial
were
method
limited in
system that
game.
enhances the player's battle style has also been added. It appears
Yeah.
that the new changes obtained from memories of people Evan meets through his journey will be added to the battle style. What sort of changes can martial method include? Stay tuned for a future update. New equipment,
Yeah, a lot of new gear. Apparently it's like a gear hunt sort of thing.
but just one dungeon. That's all it is.
It's apparently a pretty big dungeon. But I think there's like a story that goes with it too. I don't know.
It's no Torna.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
they
it's
said
not-
they were going to add some kind of character quest. I don't know if they're like smaller side quests that give some background to characters, or they're bigger
That would
side
be cool.
quests.
But
But
hey-
I was reading somewhere they were going to add those for the characters.
But hey, there's more Bracken, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, true.
Nick likes those mature older ladies.
That's my type.
Yep. So the last piece of news that I think that we'll probably talk about, maybe one more, is so CyGames Fest is scheduled for December 15th and 16th. And for people who don't know who CyGames are, they make Grand Blue Fantasy, they make Dragalia Lost, which is the new Nintendo mobile game they put out. And then they put out this like weird like horse girl racing game called Uma Masume or something like that. There's an anime for it that came out last season. But the reason why I mention this is because I think this is where they could potentially give a release date for that Platinum JRPG called like Grand Blue Fantasy or Grand Blue Fantasy Project Link or something, Project RE Link, because they haven't talked about that game in a long time. And they showed like a gameplay demo either last TGS or like earlier in the year, I forget when, and it looked really awesome. So I'm hoping to get some more information about that game.
I'm hoping to get some more information about the new Tales game, but we could all dream, right?
Keep on. I think it's good that we're waiting this long because that means they're just taking their time. It's going to be really good.
Yeah.
That's the
Hopefully.
hope, at least. I'm
Yeah,
shocked
it's-
we still haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah,
Tales game.
and it's been, what, 2 years since
2
Berseria?
years. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. But I love it.
Good, yeah, good for them. At
Yeah.
least it's not like the Atelier games where they're putting out 2 a year,
Yeah.
5
so,
a year.
So would
7 a
this
year.
be like their first real PlayStation 4 game? Like that
I
specifically
believe-
made for PlayStation 4?
I
'Cause know
believe so.
Zisteria and Berseria were both had PlayStation 3 ports.
Yeah.
Oh, Tales games. Yeah, I mean probably Switch also. I imagine.
Yeah, Switch too. Yeah.
So,
So my thought is it's probably designed on Switch and then they upport it to PS4 because
Yeah.
Switch is the weakest power-wise. But
or this doesn't even come out on Switch, and they have their Switch exclusive game.
Yeah.
they've still been not said what that is yet.
It's gonna be Tales of Zisteria R. They're gonna remake Tales of Zisteria, and they're gonna make it like they should have. So it's gonna be
Okay,
perfect.
so here let's do a bet right now, Nick. Well, whoever wins this bet owes the other person ramen because I don't know if it'll be figured out by December when I come back. But what do you think will come out first? This fabled Zisteria remaster or Persona 5 Ruby on Switch? What will come out first?
Zestiria.
Well, my money's still on Persona.
All right.
All right. Devil, do you have any guess? Any thoughts?
Nah, I'm gonna sit this one out. I'm gonna sit this one out.
The only
Listeners, let us know in the comments.
The only reason why I say they're remaking Zestiria is because they spent so much building up this world. There was an anime, there was a manga, there's the game, and then they had a prequel to that world. They really want to make this world like a big thing. So that's what I'm saying. Since Zestiria is obviously a rush job, like it was good until the end, and then you're just like, okay. This is like where they lost budget.
The end of the prologue, you mean? Yeah, you're right. It was good until the end of the prologue.
Okay, yeah.
I thought it was meh.
It was all meh.
Same.
Everything's meh. All meh. But he's so like happy all the time. And then when he goes down to the world, he's like, "Oh my god, I feel sick. The world's evil."
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. I'm looking forward to the new Tales game. Yeah, I shouldn't say that. I'll wait and see what it. I'm looking forward to what it. It's like I'm not like I'm gonna play it day one because I didn't play Berseria. But yeah.
How much do you want to bet it's gonna be super stylized? It's gonna be like Persona 5, like that stylized.
Maybe that'd be awesome.
It's like this is the new Tales game. It's a high school setting.
Oh, good. Oh.
High school setting in a magic school?
Yeah,
in
exactly.
a night academy?
I'd get turned off if they did that. Ugh.
Guess what, guys? Social links. You get your own waifus. This is not Tales.
Oh, yeah. Finally.
That's what
We've all
everyone
been waiting
watches.
for it.
To be honest, though, I could actually see that happening.
Yeah.
What?
I know,
Doing
that's why I'm sort
social
of...
links?
Yeah, I could see them doing that.
No, just changing it up, like completely changing it up, making it like a high school setting, but making it a magical high school setting.
Yeah.
Like Falcom did it. So
Yeah, because
Bandai
we
Namco
need
can do it.
another Japanese high school setting, Japanese RPG.
We don't have enough of those, you know? There's not enough.
How many do we have?
Every JRPG should be Japanese high school, where you have your daily life and then you have your dungeon crawling life. That's what everything should be.
So just like Persona, but the battle system's Tales. It's a win-win situation.
So you mean Tokyo Xanadu?
Yeah.
Tokyo Xanadu doesn't have the Tales battle system.
I know it's better.
It's an action RPG.
Okay.
I don't get it.
The only other thing I wanted to mention, I don't know if there's much discussion to be had, but Level 5 recently celebrated their 20th anniversary, which is, when you think about it, it's kind of crazy, because I guess that would have marked the PS2, the beginning of the PS2, because they did Dark Cloud. Was their first game, as far as I remember?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first time I've ever heard of one, was with the first Dark Cloud game, so...
I think it was. So I was looking at their releases. They had Dark Cloud 1 and 2, Dragon Quest 8, Rogue Galaxy, Dragon Quest 9, Jeanne d'Arc, which is this super underrated PSP strategy RPG that like nobody played, and it's really good.
I love it. So.
Oh, good. Yes.
It's hard
awesome.
to get.
Yeah, it's good.
It's rare. Of course, everyone's favorite, White Knight Chronicles.
Hey, they made a sequel, you know.
Two White Knight Chronicles. Of course, Ni no Kuni 1 and 2. Fantasy Life, which is like kind of a grindy little 3DS game, but it's like super charming. It's like it's so much fun. I really liked it. Did either of you guys play that on 3DS?
Nope.
No, I haven't played it.
It's so good. It's basically you pick like a life or you pick a job, and then there are certain things you do to level up your job, and then you move on to the next one. So you can be like an archer woodworker, so you're like doing archer things while you're chopping wood. It reminds me of Harvest Moon. It's very tedious on paper, but then as you're playing it, it's just really fun. What else? Of course, Professor Layton, Yokai Watch, and Inazuma 11, which really never took off outside of Japan, but apparently it's like huge in Japan. So
It seems like that's a lot of level 5 games.
Yeah.
Seems in Japan, but not here.
Yeah.
especially Yokai Watch. I mean, they keep putting those games out, but I don't think anybody cares like they do in Japan. Those games, that is like a phenomenon in Japan.
Yeah, that's huge over there.
And what was really weird, I remember when they put the first game out, it like did okay, like it was fine, but then the anime came out and then like selling like crazy because of the anime.
Yeah.
All the kids
And
wanted
then-
it.
Yep. And they wanted the toys and the little wristwatch thingy.
So are those games any good? Because I hear like the battles are automated or something like that.
Yeah, you have very little input on the battles.
So from what I understand, the way the battles work is I think you have like a wheel of like 6 monsters and only 3 can be in battle at once, and then you like rotate if like one's hurt or has like a status effect or something, and then yeah, you just keep rotating them out. I
Okay.
haven't played the game either, but yeah, it's sort of auto battle.
That sounds similar to J Cocoon 2 minus the auto battling, because in there you have like 3 different sets of monsters that you can capture, and it's like you have 3 in like one group, 3 in another, and 3 in another group, and you can kind of like, it's like a weird way of rotating them all out.
Interesting. Well, Sean Chiplock keeps being mad at us because we never played J Cocoon 2, so
You sent
yeah, get on it,
You
Nick.
sent us one. It's right there.
Seems like a fair trade.
I mean,
J Cocoon 2 for a PS4.
J Cocoon 2 is pretty decent. Don't touch the first one. The first one's rough.
We've both put some significant time into the first one. It's very
Yeah.
what's the word? It has not aged well.
No, it has
'Cause you have to
not.
like there's a lot of running to you get new monsters. You have to purify them back at the village, and there's no fast travel. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
All I know is it's really interesting for like the first 15 hours, and then you're like, okay, I'm done.
It's like, can we just finish this up here?
It has good music though.
Yeah. And Studio Ghibli did the animated opening for the first one, which is really weird.
Mm.
Yeah. Fun fact.
Fun fact.
So that's it for news, unless you guys had anything else that. Oh, 2B got announced for Soul Calibur, which I think is really funny because I saw a lot of really high quality character creators for 2B. Like people made it on their own anyway.
But now it's
But now
official.
she is
But now
just
she's
officially
official.
in the game. Yeah.
The question
Which
is,
really doesn't surprise me.
can you blow off her skirt?
I wouldn't be surprised if they do that.
Oh, I bet you can. I bet
Yeah.
because you could destroy armor, right? And
Yeah.
the bottom armor, her skirt probably gets blown off.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me.
I bet you it's there.
Who knows? Probably.
But it's part of the DLC season pass, and I don't really care for that.
Yeah, just make her in the custom character creator or whatever.
That disappointed me, that custom creator.
Really? Everybody's been really liking it.
It's because
Yeah.
there's not many. I was trying to make. I remember I made Rudy in Soul Calibur 3, and Rudy has like a top that's like it's like just like a straight line kind of top, you know. It's not like it's not like a bra.
Yeah.
They don't have that in this one. They just have a bunch of bras. And I'm like, it was like, why is there no like tape bra that I need?
Why can't my characters be more scandalous? God.
No,
Yes.
no, because tape bra would be like covering most of it up. The other bras are like you can see all the underboob and everything like that.
Yeah, I know in one of the Soul Caliburs they had a Tails reference. I think it was Sophia's weapon. Or it was a reference to, I think it was Destiny. I can remember off the top of my head, but I know there was like a Tails reference in one of the weapons in a Soul Calibur game.
I need to load up 3, and I want to see how good that custom creator is compared to the newer ones. Because I remember that one being very in-depth. But that's probably my memory not working correctly. But
I know. Soul Calibur 3, is that a PS2 game or PS3?
yeah, it's a PS2.
Yeah, Soul Calibur
exclusive.
3 is PS2 exclusive.
Do I have?
Okay.
No, I have 2. All right. So
should we go to the poll question? The Twitter poll
let's do
question?
the Twitter poll question.
Yeah, this wasn't originally intended as one, and then I just didn't remember to put one out, so this is what we got. So basically, I put out 4 soundtracks, and I said, keep 3 soundtracks, burn 1, and what's your choice? And so I had the soundtrack for Xenoblade 2, Final Fantasy 15, Persona 5, and Nier Automata. And it was almost exclusively people burning Xenoblade 2 or Final Fantasy 15. Like, nobody said anything about Persona or Nier, because those are, like, amazing soundtracks.
So those 2 games, those are the 2 games that a lot of people did not play. I bet.
No, I mean, Final Fantasy 15 sold the best of those 4, so I
Yeah.
imagine that one most people probably, yeah.
I'm gonna answer the question already.
Wrong.
Out of all of those, I would have picked Final Fantasy 15. There's only certain songs that are really memorable.
Yeah. I mean, I know, like, as I was playing through Xenoblade, it had good music, but, like, as I think about it, nothing comes to mind, really.
Mm-hmm.
None of it, like, I mean, obviously, Persona 5 and Nier are the two best. Like, Persona had that, like, jazz, like, cool jazz, and then Nier was just so unique and weird. What about you, Devil? What would you pick to burn of those four?
I've only played half of those games, so, and I would say, yeah, Xenoblade 2 just because I haven't played it yet. Because I do like Final Fantasy 15 soundtrack from what I've heard.
You haven't played Final Fantasy 15 yet?
Not yet.
You're waiting for it to be done, right?
Kind of.
Or just hopefully skip it altogether.
No, it's a Final Fantasy game, so I'm obligated to play it. So.
Got it. And then Nick, you said 15?
Yeah, 15.
I mean, I would probably burn Xenoblade 2 just because, again, nothing comes to mind outside of like a couple battle themes. And then 15, like, you know, that saga I had with making that video, and I just would rewatch all those trailers. So a lot of the trailer music comes to mind, and then like some of the kind of calmer moments when you're like getting to a camp or just hanging out. There's some good music. But I can read some of the comments. Let's see what people say. JRPG, it's like J, the name J, and then RPG. So there's like 2 good songs in Final Fantasy 15 OST, so that one's got to go for me. My old buddy Yusuf said, "Gotta burn Xenoblade 2. Would be Final Fantasy 15, but that Distant Worlds Apocalypse Noctis song." So I guess he must have gone to the live concert or whatever.
That song where you're flying and being Super Saiyan Noctis.
Very weird. Wandy said, "Easy. Keep Xeno, Nier, and Persona. Burn that FF1, lol." Good one, Wandy.
So who composed Xenoblade 2?
The guy.
It was like a couple. I think it's like 3 different people, if I remember right.
The main guy was the guy who did Chrono Cross's bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yasunori Mitsuda. Yeah, he was the main dude.
Oh, okay.
So there's a lot of calming, nice, relaxing music in that game.
Yeah.
And like
that's
every
kinda
area
his
has
specialty.
a day theme and night theme, and
Okay, that gives me something to look forward to when I play that. With the music anyway.
I forget, you don't have a Switch, right, Devil?
No,
Or
I don't
you
have
do?
a Switch yet.
Okay.
soon.
Lots of good stuff waiting for you.
Oh yeah.
Smash.
Oh my gosh, wait, actually one person said Persona 5, so this is DJ Grandblue. He said, damn, the malice for FF15. Honestly, it would be a pick between that and Persona for me. Persona 5 has like two tracks that I like. 15 has more, just sheer numbers for me. Wow.
Only 2?
Only 2? Man, Persona 5, I'm shocked. Nobody said Nier though. I take back what I said. I thought nobody said Persona 5. I don't think anybody said Nier. I'm just gonna scroll real quick. Yeah, a lot of Final Fantasy 15. Yeah. Anyway, I'll keep going.
Persona. I mean, I could pick. I mean, it's called Beneath the Rain, right?
Yeah.
Beneath the Mask.
Beneath the Mask, yes. And that there's like 4 versions of that, so that I would count that as one song.
Yeah.
But still, all 4 versions are pretty good.
They're all different.
Yeah. I think you were thinking of like the version when it rains, that real soft version.
I love that theme.
Oh yeah, that one's really good.
Yeah.
Let's see. B Cop said, I barely even remember Final Fantasy 15 because I kept listening to the other soundtracks with the portable MP3 player.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? That's probably going to be me too whenever I play the game. Just put those other soundtracks and just listen to
I think
that.
I was listening to the Final Fantasy VII one whenever I was driving the car.
The one I was really disappointed they didn't have 2 Xanarkand in it from Final Fantasy X. I was really shocked. I don't know why they didn't include it. It's like the most well-known song from that game, but
They probably have it now.
Yeah, they probably do now.
maybe it was a weird licensing thing. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense, but
It's the reason why we
Craftian.
don't have Tony Hawk Pro Skater on PlayStation 1 Classics.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why. Yeah, there's a lot of the music, licensed music, and Activision.
Yeah, because I was wondering why that wasn't
even.
even a PlayStation 1 classic. Because like, Oh, it's probably the music.
Man, I would
Dude,
totally
playing that on Vita, dude, that'd be the best. Oh
I
my
know.
God. Oh, old school Tony Hawk on Vita. So Craftium said, if Xenoblade 2 includes Torna, then bye 15. If not, then bye Xenoblade 2. Torna does have some good music.
Torna's very jazzy, right?
Yeah, it is. It's totally different. It's got definitely more of a jazz vibe to it. It's very odd, but I like it. It's very good. I think that's kind of most of the interesting comments / people from Discord.
Slash people.
Yeah. So anyway, I guess we'll move on to each of our topics. So since I went first last week.
Technically you did not go first. It is tied into the Twitter question, right?
Okay. So do you want me to go first this week then?
Sure. Because
So
we still got to talk about what we've been playing.
Do we? I haven't really been playing any JRPGs, I'll just say that.
I have.
I've been dabbling in Fire Emblem Warriors, and I've been playing a lot of God of War, which is obviously not a JRPG, and that's pretty much it.
Have you been playing anything? Or just been busy with con season?
Well, just Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise. Pretty much that.
Isn't that this like Fifth of the North Star Yakuza?
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
I beat Xenogears.
Oh boy! So what are your final thoughts?
Yeah, what are the
Lay it
final
on.
Final thought. Okay, the first, Kippy asked, like playtime, rating. Should it be considered one of the great classics on the PS1? My playtime was 80 hours. I think it would be normal playtime would be around 60 because I probably have a lot of dead time on that.
Okay.
Taylor's rating, I'll probably give it 8, yeah, maybe mid 7, 8. It's good. There's a lot of I don't know if this is just like just because of the Vita, but there was a lot of weird technical issues. Like graphics would glitch, and the movies, the FMVs would freeze sometimes. Weird. And like in the battles when you're in your gears, the gears are supposed to come from the top. Like sometimes they just like pop there.
Oh, yeah, that's normal because that's in the PlayStation version too.
Right. So I'm just like, oh, that's weird. You could totally tell. I said this last week when they lose budget.
Yeah, you could
just
definitely
totally
tell.
And you're like, oh, okay.
No, because whenever I first played it, I was just sitting there. It gets to disc 2, and they were talking about all this stuff. It was like, what the fuck? What happened to like all the story? You're like explaining all this stuff.
I know. It's like
And it's
pictures and they're just talking about what's happening. And I'm like, okay, I've heard about the rumors. They're true. But okay. It's like
Because at the time I was playing it, I had met this guy online, and he was telling me about like the way they do this too. I was like, oh. And I was like, oh shit, he wasn't joking.
it is like sudden too. It's
it is.
It's like the end of disc 1 is so packed with stuff.
Yeah.
Going on. It's all the stuff's going on, and then like this big thing happens. Enter disc 2.
Yeah.
Enter disc 2, and then it does this visual novel thing.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay. I thought at first I thought it was going to be like, oh, this is just like a transition to the next act.
Yeah.
But nope, they kept doing it through an entire
Yeah, I thought that too.
entire second disc.
Yeah. And you get to the end and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Taylor scale, I'm gonna do a Taylor scale rating. I would say
Kind of like a 2 out of 10.
there's a lot of story, a lot of exposition.
Yeah.
Sometimes in certain areas there's a lot of random battles. There's only in certain areas.
Yeah, certain areas.
The battle system's very easy, so you might like that. It has giant robots, so automatically plus 10.
Yeah.
Has waifus, another plus 10.
Does it?
It does.
Okay.
It's just it's PS1 pixely waifus, but they're still there. I was gonna say something. I totally forgot what I was gonna say.
Well, I was gonna say it gets a plus for me for the battle animations alone.
Yeah, the battle animation, the sprite animations in that game are amazing.
Yes.
They are so fun to watch.
Now I think it was like one of those screenshot LPs I was reading, And a guy, he makes a comment. He's like, you know, playing this game for the LP, I never realized how much manly shit goes on in these battles. And I was like, yeah.
There's a lot of sprite animations. It's pretty crazy. Some of them are awkward, like Ellie's idle stance. It's like it's really bouncy. And I'm like, why is she bouncing like that? It's weird. And she's
got a little over exuberant when doing the idle animation. Maybe?
I mean, it's not like her boobs are bouncing all over the place. She's just her entire body's bouncing.
Yeah.
And you could tell that there's some animation that's missing. Like when you're stopped, like certain characters that are stopped, their animation changes.
Yeah.
But for Ellie, she's still bouncing.
Yeah.
Like they're missing something there. The game's really easy, but it has these random bosses where it's like, oh, it's easy. Here's this boss that's gonna kick your ass. Now load 1 hour away. Right.
Oh yeah. The game was good about that. It'll throw you like those random battles where you kind of have to strategize a little bit just to get through. It's like, whoa, okay.
The earliest one would be fighting Calamity.
Oh yeah, Calamity. Yeah.
It's just out of nowhere. It's
that
like
one being really hard. Yeah.
Yeah, it's out of nowhere. It's like, oh, here's a hard battle. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that was like my first like information on Xenogears, because it was like this old tips and tricks magazine where, you know, they send in letters to like the editors, and like the guy talked about how he couldn't beat Calamity, and he's like, yeah, I upgraded everything on the Faye and Bart, and it's like I'm still can't beat him. And I was like, oh, and so when I first played it, I got to him, I stomped him. I was like, oh, I thought this was hard. but it's definitely like that first boss that I can see people having trouble with.
It just randomly, it's like, oh yeah, you should use your booster. Oh, we have a booster? Oh, this is easy now. So that's a thing. One of the final battles is there's like 2 boss rushes, and if you don't do it correctly or you don't have your gear set up like just right, the second battle is like impossible. Because the first battle, he has a move where it just makes all your gears health go to 1. And I'm like, that's cool. That's
you
really...
can't heal your gears in the middle of battle. There's no healing, right?
You need to have a certain accessory equipped.
Yeah. And
it takes a buttload of fuel. So I'm like, oh, okay. That's cool. Thanks, game.
Okay, thanks.
It does... Okay, so I gotta ask you, Mr. Wiseman. Xenogears, same creator that is Xenoblade and Xenosaga, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like that same guy.
It totally has that feeling.
Yes, it does.
Really?
Yes. The dude's been trying to tell the same damn story for a little over 20 years now?
Yeah. It's
like, I mean, he changes the ideas, events, but it's almost like that same story.
It's always technology becomes God.
Okay.
That's what it is. So the human race advances so much that they create God via technology and accident.
Oops.
You remember the ending of Xenoblade Chronicles 2?
Well, I don't want to spoil anything, but yes, I do remember the ending.
Oh yeah.
It's the same thing. I'm like, hey, didn't I just play this game? It's called Xenoblade Chronicles. But yeah, it's just. I just realized, like, oh, this is him because magic's called Ether, and like in every other Xenoblade or Xeno game.
I won't knock him too much because I do like his stories.
Mm-hmm.
So
I just wish he had the budget still. Screw Final Fantasy VIII. Finish Xenogears.
Final Fantasy VIII, best Final Fantasy.
No, they took away the team and budget from the Xenogears team and put it to Final Fantasy VIII. Excuse me. That's why Disc 2 was so short and like that.
Because I know he was going to try to do something similar with Xenosaga, but that fell through. Since like the first game did well, to the point where, if I'm right, it sold better over here than it did in Japan.
Oh, weird. Huh?
Yeah, but then, you know, people complain about too many cutscenes, the way the characters looked, so of course that led to the changes in 2. And any fans that you had with the first game sort of jumped ship with the second game.
Because they changed it too much?
Yeah, and then so the sales didn't do that great, so they had enough to make a third game, and they cut the series off with that one.
Which one do I own? 2.
There's been a lot of rumors.
Yeah.
Speaking of Xeno Saga, there's been a lot of rumors that that's getting a HD collection.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of that too for the past 2 years.
Everything's getting an HD collection, guys. We just everything.
I mean,
is.
freaking Resonance of Fate just got a remaster.
Yeah.
It's a terrible game. No, I've never played it. But
Nah, that's pretty fun. I love that game.
Isn't
I hear it has a really weird battle system. And it's kinda
Yeah,
hard.
it's pretty much like the best way I can describe it is that it's similar to. It has some Valkyrie profile Samaria with like a mixture of John Woo gunplay a little bit.
does Sony own Xenogears, the Xenogears property, and that's why they never made it?
So, if I'm right, Xenogears is owned by Square.
Mm.
If I'm right.
Square,
I think so.
Square,
Yeah.
it's time to remake it. Make his dream come true.
Well, I think the problem is Monolith Soft is owned by Nintendo, and that's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
developer,
Monolith
so
Soft
that's
is owned by
never gonna
Nintendo now.
happen.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't need the Monolith stuff. They just need the guidance of the creator. That's
For
it.
which? For Xenosaga?
Xenogears.
Oh.
Just remake the yeah. People want it. I mean, come on. There's new figures coming out for that game.
Hey, yeah, that's really bizarre that they're getting like new high quality figures out of nowhere.
Also, if you don't really pay attention, the story gets kind of confusing.
Oh yeah, it can because there's so much text.
There's so much text, and there's so much like craziness going on, and
Yeah.
like time, and then like timelines that you got to follow.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, what's this? What's this? Who's that? Wait, I know that. Why that? What?
Yeah. There's a lot of
But it's fun to theorize like what's going on.
Yeah.
Like I was theorizing who was who and why they're doing that, and
Oh, that was one of those RPGs where I kind of just sat there and just let it take me on the ride, and I just let it, reveal everything as it went instead of me trying to figure things out on my own.
but they created they committed the worst sin a JRPG could ever do, which is like minus 11,000 points. No epilogue.
So after the credits is just over, that's it.
It just ends.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm gonna show Jarrett at the end of this podcast. My Vita is still on the screen of where I ended Xenogears. It just ends. It's like you beat the game, the characters come back, and then they're like, "Yay!" Credits. Okay, what happened? What happened afterwards? And then it just goes to the title screen. Xenogears Episode 5. The end. This is Episode 5?
Yeah, that kind of ties into Xenosaga because I remember way back when Xenosaga was coming out and people were like speculating and talking about it, and they were saying that if it ever went through, that the 5th episode in the Xenosaga series would be kind of like a retelling of Xenogears. Assuming that ever happened. And that's what a lot of people were speculating. Like rumors about it.
Interesting.
Well,
So
Cosmos...
Xenoblade 3 just needs to be a remake of Xenogears. In everything, but so it's not Faye, it'll be Bay.
No.
And it won't be Weltel, it'll be Keltel.
And it won't be Ellie, it'll be Melly.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I've been playing. I could go more in depth, but I have to be vague for spoiler reasons.
Yeah.
Maybe a spoiler cast with the Connor. Don't know.
There you go.
But let's do our topics. Taylor, you go first.
So I've been trying to figure out how to word this into a topic that makes sense. But so basically, this generation, Persona 5 sort of had a big breakout, right? Like I think Persona 4 Golden got a lot of people's attention, and then once Persona 5 got announced, everybody's like, "Oh man, this is going to be the next evolution. It looks amazing." So I guess my question is, with PS5 right around the corner, and like a lot of we're probably not going to see the next entry in a lot of games for another year. Like we're not going to see another outside of the FF7 remake. We're not going to see another Final Fantasy for a while. We're not going to see another Persona for a while. Who knows? We're going to see Tales, so on. So what do you guys think is going to be the next Persona 5 in the sense that like a new breakout JRPG, whether it's a new game or like an ongoing franchise that finally gets like the attention it deserves? Like, what do you guys think will be like a breakout
Tokyo Xanadu 2.
franchise? That would be nice.
I don't know.
Is there one that...
I mean, I think it has to come from Falcom.
Yeah,
because they're really
either Ease or like Trails.
Trails of Cold Steel 3.
Maybe because they're doing the Kai games, and then maybe once they do 3, who knows? So here was my thought. So there has been a really small JRPG developer that's been like putting out really good games, and like nobody's talking about them. And I'm hoping that maybe like they can move away from the 3DS and do something on Switch or on PS4. There's this company called Furyu, I think is how they pronounce it.
Yeah, Furyu.
And they did Legend of Legacy and The Alliance Alive. And they, you know, they're lower budget games, but people really liked them. And they were, you know, kind of going back to the roots of old school JRPGs, and they apparently had pretty good music. So I'm thinking whatever their next game is, whether it's on Switch or PS4, I think that has the potential to possibly be, you know, pretty big for them.
I know they did another game that I have. I can't think of the name off the top of my head, but I know there's another RPG that I've played that they created.
I'm gonna Google them right now.
Yeah.
While you guys marinate.
I'm marinated in your idea, and I think they're too niche for them to have a breakout RPG.
Yeah, they are a bit far too niche.
Who's that?
Furyu. Yeah, they're a little too far across that niche line.
Yeah. Let's see here. Okay.
Yeah, you guys weren't kidding about that either.
No, we're not.
Okay, yeah, so by release date, so they did Alliance Alive, Unchained Blades.
Yeah, that's the game. Yeah, that's the game that I've played.
Okay.
I have.
Got it. Oh, this one. Okay, yeah, the art looks familiar. But yeah, I think you're right. I think it has to be something from Falcom. Like whether it's Ys 9, whether it's maybe it's, I think Cold Steel has just been dragging its feet for too long.
In the West.
Maybe
Yeah, in the
Not
West,
in the West. Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe whatever their next game is, whether that's Ys 9, whether it's Tokyo Xanadu 2, whether that's a completely new, you know, trilogy, beginning of a new trilogy or something like that. I think Falcom, they've been doing really well this whole generation. I think they've been getting a lot of like organic fandom, like with us. Like there was a point when like almost the entire Discord server was playing Tokyo Xanadu at the same time.
That was fun.
And
yeah.
that was really fun. It was fun to see that, and that game was like unexpectedly like really great.
A game's so simple but yet so great.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's Ys meets Persona without the budget. That's basically what it is. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's a great game. So
Just tighten up combat a little more, and I think you have a solid. Yeah.
I think we might have lost Taylor.
Yeah, I think we did.
oh no,
He's back.
hi.
All right. I think like so you know how it's freezing all the time? I think it's the internet. I think the internet is messing up, and that's why you keep freezing.
No, I have a low ping. Like it's showing my connection rate on Discord. It's like in red, so it's bad for sure.
Yeah, so I think that's what's causing your the frames. It might be Discord might be acting up right now, so
That could be.
that's fine. At least it's not our computers.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's
Oh,
like,
okay. Here's my thought. You know how Tales of is like a well-known series amongst us JRPGers.
Mhm.
I think the next game could be a make or break, or like one that could push it above the average. Because everyone's like, "Oh, it's another Tales game. What is this? Land Before Time 12." If they make it like really well, I have a feeling they could become their Persona 5. And the people like, "Oh, Tales of, it's pretty good. Maybe they're coming back."
Yeah, because honestly, I would say pre-Persona 5, Tales was still the more popular series, but I think Persona 5 kind of pushed that ahead of Tales.
No, I totally agree. Yeah. Yeah, the Persona love was crazy, and the fact that it got nominated, I know, take this for whatever it's worth, but the fact that it got nominated for Game of the Year at the Game Awards really tend to favor like niche JRPGs like that. It was like astonishing.
Yeah, I was
So-
like, whoa.
They didn't even give it airtime either. They were like top RPG Persona 5, like in a little box in the bottom corner. It's like, oh, it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, they gave it its time when they were like, I think they took a moment to recognize each Game of the Year nominee like separately. So I think they mentioned it, and it was part of the medley. But I agree, it didn't like the guy didn't get up, wasn't able to come up and like get an award presented or anything like that. But just the fact that it was getting that much goodwill and that much recognition was pretty unbelievable. Because like if a Final Fantasy game got nominated, you'd be like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, it's Final Fantasy. Like,
yeah.
Persona now is like in that upper tier in the West.
That's what
I don't even
expected. It was Final Fantasy 15 to win.
But it didn't, which is funny. It didn't win
Yeah.
anything, I don't think.
So the companies that have the chance to prove themselves: Falcom, and Bandai Namco to make a comeback. Because I think Square has no chance, because Square takes forever with their Final Fantasy games.
Well,
for some reason.
I mean, well, Square's name is far bigger than them in the West anyway. Well, in terms of RPGs, so.
I mean, they have Kingdom Hearts. I think Kingdom Hearts 3 will be bigger than anything.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Even though
that's going to be one of the first huge games next year.
Yeah.
So Resident Evil 2 remake, and then Kingdom Hearts like back to back like that. So
my name is Foygooks.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, because then there's like really unexpected things like Nier Automata. Like, who would ever think that like Nier would get a really good sequel that would sell extremely well and get nominated for all these awards?
That was like out of nowhere, because the first one was like niche, like very niche, but people praised the story and the music.
Yeah.
But people kind of slammed the gameplay and graphics. And then they announced the sequel's going to be developed by Platinum Games, and all of a sudden, the game comes out, and I'm like, I'm looking forward to it because it's Platinum Games. I love, what they do. And then all of a sudden, like, this is big game for like the rest of the year. Everyone's talking about it. Won't shut up about it. I was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, it's weird because like Platinum, like they used to be like the character action developer, and now they did Nier. I guarantee you they're working on another Nier right now.
Yeah,
that one
probably,
sold way too well to not do another one. And then I keep going back to that Grand Blue Fantasy. I think there's something special with that Grand Blue Fantasy game. I think that game could really...
You've seen like 5 seconds of gameplay and you think it's special. I love it.
Production value looks amazing, and the combat looks... There's like a lot of variety. So I don't know. I think that has the potential to be a breakout as well.
I'm going to say temper your expectations, because they're going to show actual gameplay and it's going to look nothing like that. I'm just tempering, like, think that way, so when it comes out and you see it still looks exactly the same, you're like, yes. Got it.
When it comes to these games, I always wait on the gameplay first and foremost. I gotta know what it looks. I gotta know what it plays like first. If I like the way it plays, then there's a good chance I'm buying it.
Well, that trailer, I mean, it's the girl walking around that town, but then they also show like this, like, I don't know what it is, some sort of battle arena, like a I don't know how to describe it. It was like there's like a thing where like a cage opens up and there's this big monster, and like I think they're based on like story characters from the mobile game or something, not like made up characters. Because the main girl is like this ice knight, and she does all this crazy ice moves, and there's like a little lolly mage and whatever.
Is Grand Blue as crazy as Fate Stay Night?
In terms of what?
Craziness?
I don't think so. There is an anime, but I think most of the lore is in the mobile. I know there's not a lot of branching crazy stories or anything.
Because you know how crazy Fate is, right? Like, these characters are like completely out of nowhere. It's like...
Yeah.
I think this is much more of a straightforward franchise, from what I understand.
All right.
Yeah.
So, let's move on to, speaking about bad games, let's move to mine. Compile Heart games have a bad rep according to the internet. Do you think they deserve it? If not, which of their games would you recommend?
They definitely deserve it.
I specifically chose this, thought of this topic because we have Jarrett here, who has actually played a couple of...
Okay, I like Nep, okay? All right. Some of the games are kind of fun. But I kind of see where people look at the games, and the games are kind of made on the cheap a little bit, so... And personally, though, I will say I think Fairy Fencer F is a decent game, though. That actually is pretty decent.
But is it true that Compile Heart games are a lot lewder than normal JRPGs? Or is it just the character designs?
I think it's more the designs give off that impression. Because I haven't seen anything that's like super lewd. I mean, they're very, they're like the fourth wall, like meta kind of RPGs, really. With the way that they write, like the dialogue and the way they voice act a lot.
Mm-hmm. What's the
some of them were pretty lewd. I remember I reviewed a game back in the day called, and there's like this whole.
Say that name again, because he cut out.
Oh, Mugen Souls.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Mugen Souls.
Mugen Souls.
Yeah, it was like a.
What's that?
It was a PS3 RPG where you like you're on this ship and you go around, and it had the weirdest combat that I just for the life of me could not wrap my head around. So basically, if I remember right, you have a main character and she can like change. She had like split personality or something like that. And depending on who you're fighting, you had to have the opposite personality of who you were fighting to like do critical damage. And it made like it was really hard to understand like what the other person was and what would be effective against it. And I could never figure it out. It was just like way too complex for its own good. And it had a lot of lewd stuff that you're talking about, Nick. Like I very vividly remember a scene where she's like taking a bubble bath or whatever.
Okay, because I couldn't think if Mugen Souls was NIS or Compile Heart.
They published that in the West, but Compile Heart developed it.
Okay.
Who developed Cross Edge?
Cross Edge?
Cross Edge was, I think it was Nipponichi, but I could be wrong.
Oh no, you're right. I have the Compile Heart wiki open. It was them, and it was co-developed by Idea Factory. And
Idea Factory. Yeah.
Okay, so it is Compile Heart because Cross Edge I know is a bunch of characters from a bunch of different games, and I know there's a bunch of lewd scenes.
Yeah, that's right. Because Compile Heart and I think it was Idea Factory merged a couple of years ago.
Because I know for a fact there's lewd stuff in that game. So I think Compile Heart has some games that are lewd like that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously their most popular franchise has been the Neptunia games.
Yeah.
The Joker game. So the next one's called Death and Request, right? Is that
that one actually looks pretty cool. I like that soundtrack.
Yeah, that one, and then the Dragon one.
Varnier of the Dragon Star?
That one looks really interesting.
Yeah,
it's
that one does.
It's it's worked on with Compile Heart, but it's like a different developer as well. So it looked really interesting. I can't find it. Mega Dimension Neptunia VIIR for PC launches October 22nd.
Victory 2.
So where would you start with Mega Dimension Neptunia?
With those, I would say do the Rebirth remakes.
It's on PS4?
Well, they're on PC now.
I think they're on Vita and PC, right?
Yeah, Vita and PC. I do know they were releasing like a PlayStation 4 version of Rebirth 1. I'm not too sure if I'm right on that one.
Potentially. I don't know. Yeah. On the page it just says PC and Vita, but it wouldn't surprise me because of how popular PlayStation is right now.
But Conception Plus is coming.
Yeah.
To PS4.
Is that a Compile Heart game?
I don't think so.
No, it's a
doesn't say. Here. Spike Chunsoft?
Yeah, it's a Spike game. Because I know it's like
Spike Chunsoft did Danganronpa?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ow. Oh, I forgot to put that, but whatever.
Well, have you played any Compile Heart games, Nick?
No, I've never have. That's why I'm asking this question.
Yeah, I've heard. That's what I've heard too about Fairy Fencer. I never played it, but people are like that is maybe the most tolerable for people that aren't into like that niche of Compile Heart style games.
Neptunia has that visual novel style where the scenes are just two characters talking, right?
Well, all of their games usually do that.
Okay, so they have the visual novel. That Taylor hates that. I'm used to it.
Yeah, I'm used to it too.
So I don't know if Taylor will ever be
I mean,
able
the
to
thing
play.
with Neptunia though is that it has this annoying habit of, like, they'll move a little bit because it's supposed to signify that they're breathing.
Oh yeah, that's what new
Yeah.
new visual novels do, where they're like the people are like this,
Yeah.
Yep.
but they don't animate. Oh, they just breathe. Gotta get on Nekopara's level, man. They animate and do the breathing thing at the same time.
High quality.
High quality. That's why it takes forever to make a freaking episode. Still waiting for that episode 4.
What is this now? Oh, okay.
Nekopara. Coconut.
8-bit theater.
Yeah. I mean, episode 4 was announced in 2017. They said they're making it. There's been no news about it. Gosh. Jeez. I want to bang more cat girls, dude. All right, Jarrett. What do you have a topic?
I went something along the lines of video game commercials. You know, like some of your favorite video game commercials.
Oh man, I'm trying to remember good ones. I remember bad ones.
Yeah, those.
The one that immediately comes to mind is that really bad Legend of Dragoon.
Yeah.
where Dart chops off Lloyd's head, and then it like zooms out like they're on a commercial
Like a
set.
commercial
And
set.
they're like, he chopped off my heads, guys. He chopped off my head. And it's like, this is so bad. I'm like, what is this?
No, and like Dart, like he walks off and Dart's like, "What a wuss."
Yeah. Oh my god, that commercial's so bad.
Okay, I remember one. This is all childhood stuff, man. So this is
Yeah.
really. I remember one. It was for Super Nintendo, and it was for Super Mario World, and it was just some guy eating.
No, yeah, that was Yoshi's Island.
It was Yoshi's Island.
Yeah, Yoshi's Island.
He
where
was
he's
just
like eating food,
and then he
and
explodes.
his stomach explodes, and like everything goes all over the people in the restaurant.
Yeah. I remember. I'm like, how is this? What? How does this have anything to do with Yoshi's Island?
I know that was like the Paper Mario commercial for the first one, where it was like a cardboard cutout of like the Paper Mario model, and it's like going through like fields and everything, and then it's like they tip it off a cliff or something like that, and it's just like weird upbeat music playing like as he's like running through fields.
Oh, I don't know. I think the best one, you all know this one, is the Super Smash Brothers
Yeah,
one.
that one with that Turtles, that 60s band, the Turtles. Like there's like one of their songs playing in the background.
And then they just start fighting each other. And
Yeah. They're running through like the flower field or whatever.
Yeah. So,
Like those old Dreamcast commercials, like the Ready to Rumble boxing one, where like with Afro Thunder, and I forget the other guy's name, but he bites off a piece of Afro Thunder's throat. He's like, "Fool, bit off a piece of my afro."
Intense.
I remember
This didn't come out in America, but there was a really neat Final Fantasy IX commercial for Coca-Cola. It was like in conjunction with Coca-Cola, and Zidane is like chasing this like magical like cap through one of the towns, and then he like at the end he's like drinking a Coke. I'm like, this is really weird that it's not. Like,
Yeah,
this
they did that in
thing.
America too. I remember them doing.
Oh,
it.
did they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I remember a Final Fantasy VII commercial, which wasn't weird. It was actually like a trailer, and I just remember one of the scenes was when Tifa goes to her knees and goes no, and her boobs are like when she's doing it, all jiggling everywhere. So I'm like, that's interesting. Crash Bandicoot ones.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, in front of Nintendo.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, with
one's
like the
great.
guy in the suit.
That's all I remember. I don't know any of the newer ones.
I know there's the I remember the Battle Tanks commercial with like the not Downy Bear that gets shot out of the tanks.
Oh yes, the not Downy Bear. It was
Yeah.
like, it was looked like a Downy commercial, and some like tanks come and start blowing the shit out of everything.
And you see the bear trying to run and get away, but
Yeah. Oh man, that's a classic one too.
This is just like a funny story more than anything. But I remember this had to have been 7 years ago now. But I remember I was watching football, and there's this commercial that comes on, and it's for Skyrim, and like it's like a live action commercial, and the guy walks into like the town, and everybody's running away, and then like a dragon like. And I remember my uncle was like, "Wow, that looks really cool. You guys want to go see that?" He thought it was for like a movie or something.
Oh, that's because Xbox was like Xbox budget. But yeah, I remember seeing that trailer every 5 seconds at GameStop.
Yeah. I remember those old Wii commercials. Like that.
We would like to
Play.
I remember everyone who got a Wii was like really cool for about 15 minutes, and then like, okay, I'm done. So let's all play Wii Sports.
Yeah, and then I remember like there were those reports about people like using it too hard and they throw it and they destroy their TV sets.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yep. I'm like, oh, we should probably put wrist straps on these, huh?
Yeah,
That's
that's a good idea.
Gotta do that. All right. So I have one topic from last week. Taylor, remember this? The return to the beginner's guide to JRPGs.
Okay.
It's like where to start. Where should new players begin their JRPG journey?
So I remember back in the day. Oh, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say I know Taylor is gonna go like this generation. Start now. Where would you guys start? Where would you go? Sorry, I'm putting words in your mouth, but I have a feeling that's what you're gonna say.
Tricky now because people who start playing with like the newer generation JRPGs are gonna have trouble going back to the older games because they're too archaic for them.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to say like what's a beginner's guide.
My answer is always whatever the latest Pokemon is, because they're like pretty straightforward, easy, fun RPGs. And just like they're pretty linear for the most part. Just like kind of follow the path, collect as much monsters as you want. There's like a pretty minimal story, pretty simple.
And it's archaic. It still has that archaic feeling to it.
Yeah, they still are kind of archaic.
I mean, kind of, but like there's like a lot of charm in those games, and they're like pretty fluid. I mean, like like Nick, your brother, like he gave Kayla, his daughter, Pokemon on her little 3DS, and she can figure it out and play it. So that's like technically her first JRPG. You know what I mean? So if she can figure it out, I feel like an adult could play Pokemon.
I don't think she'd beat it.
But she played it, and she like understood like what it was, and she's like what 7 or something. So
yeah.
So I would say Pokemon, like, even if you really want to like make it super easy, the new Pokemon Let's Go, like you don't even have to really do the capturing. You don't have to fight to capture the monsters. You just swipe up or however they're doing it now with the Joy-Con. And it's all about the battles and the random trainers in the world and collecting and stuff like that. So, or Persona 5. I mean, that one's stylish. It's fun.
No, I think Persona 5.
Those would be mine too.
Yeah, I think Persona 5 is too much for the beginner.
It's a little much.
Because the only reason why I say that is because it's very Japanesey, and that would scare off a lot of people who are not used to it. It'd be a culture shock to them. It's like, why are they going to school on a Saturday, and why and all this weird stuff? Why are they taking the baths together? What is this?
Yeah, because there's a streamer. She doesn't play too many JRPGs. It was that one streamer I told you about, because she played Berseria, and she never played too many JRPGs, and like some of the stuff they do in JRPGs kind of rubbed her the wrong way, like the stuff Bienfu did.
Bienfu?
Yeah. And she like some of the stuff he was saying kind of made her opinion of him go down a little bit. And I was like,
he gets his comeuppance, don't worry.
I was like, he's not bad. He's just, but she's not used to that in JRPGs. So
I mean, come on, Magilu with her. Do you want to see what's under the skirt? Skit.
Yeah, I think it was that skit where she kind of sort of
It's like, don't worry, it's not her underwear. She's wearing shorts.
Well, let me ask you this then. So, when you say what should somebody's first JRPG mean? Do you want it to be like what is a good example of what a JRPG is? Like, what is a fun game that is under the umbrella of that genre? Something that's easy to get into. What does that mean?
Where do you think they should start? Should they start like with this era's JRPGs, or should they go like on PC, play some old school Trails in the Sky, or some Grandias first, and then move up? Since a lot of older games are being remastered now, they're able to play them.
I'm kind of with Devil. A lot of those old games are kind of archaic, unless
Yeah.
you do what they did with Final Fantasy, where they speed up the battle system and
Yeah.
stuff like that. They give you the cheats. Like that's what would be the hard part,
Yeah.
I imagine, for a lot of people.
Because I know
Well, that's
Final
for the
Fantasy still
PS1.
is a household name, so for a lot of people when they think JRPG, Final Fantasy is usually first to mind. And this is people who are outside of the JRPG bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, like, as much as it pains me to say this, if I were to pick one introductory Final Fantasy, it would probably be
Don't say
Final
it.
Fantasy
Don't say
10.
it. Okay, good.
Yeah,
It'd
yeah.
probably be 10 because you can play the remaster. It's pretty linear, and it's got. I would say it's probably the best iteration of the turn-based combat because you can swap people out in the middle of combat. There's the thing on the side so you know whose turn it is next, and pretty good soundtrack. People seem to really like that game. I would probably say Final Fantasy 10.
And it's pretty linear.
Yeah, it is linear.
It is, yeah, very linear.
So it's-
Very.
Not in
It's
the bad way,
straightforward.
not like 13.
Yeah.
Where it's not as bad. I mean, it's almost as bad, but it's not.
Well, I mean, it is the same team, so.
Yeah. The Final,
I mean, the difference between 10 and 13 is that with 10, it's linear, but there's a lot to do while there's a lot to really do as you're going down that linear path. With 13, all you can really do for a while is that linear path. There's not much to really.
and then the stores are
It's so weird.
floating balls.
Oh, I remember when I played Final Fantasy 13 earlier this year, I was like, if it didn't have Final Fantasy, like the name Final Fantasy in it, I would have never thought it's a Final Fantasy game. Like, the DNA of that game has almost nothing to do with any of the other games. It's so bizarre.
I remember first seeing Final Fantasy 13. I'm like, oh, they're trying to be like Final Fantasy 7. And then we played it, and then no, it's not trying to be like
was
Final Fantasy
nothing
like
like
that.
that.
There's nothing like
Because
that.
it's like there's a train, and then there's someone like going on, like taking over the train, attacking the guards, and I'm like, hey, is this like Avalanche? And like a bunch of explosions, and there's like an uprising, and then they showed the fake gameplay.
Yeah, that was hilarious. And it's like 2 years later, oh, this is nothing like. Okay. Well, you guys still haven't given your answers. What would you say? So you think more classic, Nick?
I don't think more. I don't know. It's like, okay, what you gotta do right now? You gotta go to You gotta go to Nintendo and start playing Dragon Quest 1 on Nintendo, Final Fantasy 1 on Nintendo. No, you're gonna do that. I'm just thinking. I think it just depends on people's temperament. If they have like short attention spans and don't like reading and stuff like that, it's really hard. It's like you won't be. It's like JRPGs aren't really for you because
Yeah.
it's all about story.
Yeah, because I know there's a guy, he does like a lot of like Dynasty Warriors based YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm.
And he played Satan. He loves the combat. He just doesn't care for the story. Like, he skips all the story cutscenes.
Yeah,
and
that's
just
the
plays
thing.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say is like, okay, what you guys, if you want to start playing JRPGs, I think the first thing you gotta do is watch some anime. And I'm not joking.
Yeah, yeah.
You
there's a
should
strong
watch some
correlation.
anime. And I'm not talking about like Dragon Ball Z anime. Just watch some like slice of life anime to get the crazy school life stuff. You learn the Japanese culture, and then watch some fantasy anime or some sci-fi anime, and then you're like, okay, I get what Japan's mindset on certain things. You'll get that girl. There's sometimes very sexy and lewd girls. They like their sexual innuendo humor. A lot of cutesy things sometimes, and then there's the other side where it's very dark, very gritty, lots of like bad elements. Goblin Slayer.
Or you should just be like one of my friends, and he loves Japanese RPGs, but he doesn't like anime too much.
That's
Not the biggest fan of anime.
That's hard. That's like
That's a extremely rare breed.
that's weird because a lot of RPGs are just straight up animes.
Yeah.
Xanadu, Tokyo.
Yep.
But other than that, there's so many options now.
Yeah.
JRPGs, it's like not even a real genre. We just make it up to make it easier to identify stuff.
Yeah, it's
There's your action JRPGs like Tokyo Xanadu. There's your slow ones like. There's slow ones on PS4.
Considered 4, like slower turn-based.
I mean Persona 5,
Yeah,
but
Persona 5's turn-based.
Kingdom Hearts. You could play all the old Kingdom Hearts. You could do some Tales.
That I think Kingdom Hearts might not be the worst entry point. Like maybe
Yeah, it's not.
I don't know how like welcoming 3 is gonna be, but just because everybody knows Disney, right?
Yeah.
So that might be a good
Yeah.
one to start with.
You have to warn people. It's like Kingdom Hearts 1 feels wonky.
Yeah.
All right, you guys got to get through that. You got to
That
do your
and-
20 hours of Kingdom Hearts 1, and then you get to Kingdom Hearts 2, and then you're like, oh, this feels so much better.
And you have to tell people that there's Disney properties in it too. It's like a heavy Disney influence because there are people who don't care for Disney, or they think it is kid stuff and they kind of blow it off.
And the story is complete nonsense.
Yeah, that too.
I would say I would not recommend Dragon Quest. I'm sorry.
2 or even 11.
Even
It's
11.
2
I would say it's too. You have to be into JRPGs to get the classicness from it.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a good game, guys. I like it. It just I don't think it's a good.
Okay,
entry
because
point.
I did try out Dragon Quest 11. The one thing that I loved about Dragon Quest 11 is that I can finally see how much experience points I have for the next level on the character status screen.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I just got tired of having to go to the church to check that.
Yeah, you don't have to go to churches often. They have like altars that you
It's
can go
like-
to around the world.
I was like, ugh.
The other thing you like is Maria's legs.
Yeah.
Dim thick thighs.
Her name's Jade, by the way.
No, it's Maria.
Maria.
Forever.
Maria.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Maria.
It's always Maria. It's just I think right now is a perfect time to get into JRPGs because a bunch of classics are getting remasters, and there's a lot of brand new games coming out that are good. So
There's just like a little bit of everything for just about anyone. Because if you want like the big high budget stuff, there is stuff like Final Fantasy 15. Think of that what you will. There is Persona 5.
Yeah.
And there's pretty much any good, except 8, any good Final Fantasy has there's a remastered version available on PS4 and then upcoming on Switch and Xbox. So, and then there's all these other like mid-tier or like B-tier like Nier Automata, and like we were just talking about like everything Falcom's doing. So I'd like to think that hopefully there's something for everybody, depending on what kind of vibe you're going for.
I think we're at a time now where JRPGs can at least turn a decent enough profit. Not a high one, but a decent enough one that there's enough available on all across like every different platform. Cause like you can go to Steam.
Well, they're selling.
Go ahead.
No, I totally agree with you, Devil. Because I think it used to be relegated to whatever the PlayStation platform is, but like you said, now it's on PC. Now Switch is a pretty viable platform for those types of games. So
yeah, because it's not a very Sony dominant genre anymore.
yeah, so it's good to have them on every platform now, except for Xbox. That's a death sentence.
Yeah, Xbox is a dry wasteland at this point.
Yep.
So if you guys want to learn more about JRPGs, join our Discord. We have a bunch of people on there and talk everything JRPGs. So
yeah, apparently
he's
I've
one of
earned
them, by the way.
nickname of JRPG Godfather or something like that. Isn't that what Kempy calls me?
You?
Yeah.
JRPG Godfather?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
I played one too many.
It's like, oh yeah, because you're always like, we always talk about a niche game. It's like, oh yeah, I played that game. It's like, you played everything. All right, so let's move on to questions, and a lot of good ones this week. From Waka Waka Waka, let's do something not game related. What is your favorite Disney movie and why?
Oh, that's a good question.
I'll go first. Sword in the Stone. So many childhood memories with that, and I don't know why I love it so much, but I just do.
Are we talking obviously not Marvel, not Star Wars?
I don't count them as Disney.
Actually, yeah, Disney, not any of their subsidiaries.
Sure. My all-time favorite probably has to be a Goofy movie. I freaking love a Goofy movie.
That's another classic.
defined my childhood. I always used to sing those two songs, those two Powerline songs.
It's funny because I almost bought a Powerline shirt from work too.
Nice.
I almost bought that shirt.
There's so many of them. I like watching them just to oh, I remember watching this as a kid. But one that really resonated with me was Treasure Planet.
How did I know?
People don't know about this film. It's such a good film.
I need to watch. I still haven't watched.
It's a good story. It's like people are like, oh, what is this? Treasure Island in space? Yes, but they change a lot of stuff in it. Like Long John isn't like just a ruthless pirate. He becomes like a father figure, and it's like it's really awesome to see that story change.
Yeah, that's actually one of the movies people don't mention too often.
Because it's beautifully animated. It's 2D animation mixed perfectly with 3D. It's great. Perfect. Also, another Disney movie that everyone needs to watch: Muppet Treasure Island.
I mean, I would say Hunchback is a close second for me.
Yeah, Hunchback's really.
I love
Hunchback is super dark.
Yeah, it is very dark.
I mean, the guy talks about how he lusts for a girl. I mean,
yeah.
He gets a whole song about that.
Yep, and that's one of the best songs in the movie, too.
Yep. I just watched that recently, and I'm like, holy shit, dark. Kicks a gypsy in the face and kills her.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the movie.
Wow. Good job. Of the more modern ones, I actually really liked Zootopia.
Yeah, Zootopia was fun.
It's fun. And plus...
It has the guy from... oh my gosh.
Arrested Development.
Yeah, thank you. The Arrested Development guy. I couldn't think of him. Like, no. Michael from Arrested Development. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good movie. Yeah. I like that one.
And we can't mention Disney movies without mentioning Emperor's New Groove.
I mean, you can, but you wouldn't be a good Disney fan.
Yeah. I think people know my where my birthday gift comes from that movie, so...
More.
Isn't there like... isn't one of those freeze frames like a meme where he was like...
Yeah.
That's
They shine just right.
And there's like a Reen one or whatever.
Yeah, that was funny that I found a Reen one. I'm like, that's perfect. From another real life one from Spaghetti. Do you guys believe in ghosts?
No.
Ghosts? Nah.
I
mean, I believe in the afterlife. I just don't... I believe in a afterlife. I don't believe in ghosts. Like, I don't think there are dead souls, like, haunting people and stuff. Although they're, like... I've been watching a lot of, like, spooky TV shows since it's Halloween season, and there's been a lot of these, like, retellings of, like, events. And it's like, are they hallucinating? Do these really happen? Like, it's hard to tell, but are they ghosts? I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I was on the Queen Mary last year, and, like, I looked around, and I didn't see anything that was inherently creepy, so...
I think it's... I like the idea, but I don't see... If it was true, you would see them a lot more. And especially in this day, in this age, we would be able to capture at least some phenomena.
Yeah.
Without it being all blurry.
I mean, I say that they're probably... Like, ghosts probably exist. They just don't function or work the way that we think that they do. I mean...
There's one right behind you, Taylor!
Don't do that to me. I'm in this big empty house and I'm freaking myself out every day.
I mean, I've always said to myself, well, the day I believe that they actually exist is the day that I shake one's hand, so.
As a kid, speaking of ghost stories, as a kid, I remember my brother and I, it was just my brother and I, my sister wasn't born yet. We lived in an apartment that we always said that it was haunted. Because we would always see ghosts, and of course we're kids, so. But it was always freaky because there was this really long hallway between our room and my mom's room, or my parents' room, and whenever we would get scared, we would run across the hallway and lay in their bed. And I remember one night, I would look down the hall and I would just see a bunch of like waving like curtains down the hallway, and I was like, and it freaked me out. And of course, it's just my imagination going crazy, but it always stuck with me. And then another place that we lived, it was a duplex. I remember I was sleeping, and I specifically remember a feeling where someone itched my head like this, and both of my arms were like this in my body, like in bed. So I was like, someone touched my head, and I don't know if like when my mom or my dad came in and like rubbed my head, as you know, or it was just me. It was always freaked me out because like someone touched my head, and I got up and I looked around and there was no one there, and my hands were in the bed. So there's weird things like that.
Interesting.
All right, let's go do our Abe question of the week. What is your take on Sony being a bunch of babies and with blocking my sexy anime girls from getting their thighs slapped? So apparently Sony is becoming very Puritan when it comes to anime girls, and they've been censoring a lot of things when Nintendo used to be the one to do that, and Nintendo's not doing that. So
I mean, yeah, because they released that Senran Kagura Reflections game on Switch, the one where you can actually slap the girl's thighs with the Joy-Cons or whatever.
Mm-hmm. It's like,
yeah, I don't.
My opinion, let the game create, like, if people want to wank to this stuff, let them wank to this stuff. Just allow them. There's a rating system. There's a rating system in place.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a mature game, why are you censoring things?
Exactly.
That defeats the purpose of a ESRB rating.
Right, exactly. Yeah, because it's like they were showing the comparison pictures, and it was literally like a girl in a bikini, and they were censoring that. I'm like, why is this being censored? I don't understand.
I don't know if that was fake or not. Was that fake that Abe posted? Because I was like, why would they censor that?
Yeah, because we were talking about this in another Discord server I'm a part of, that same topic, and I'm sort of, hey, if it's just a girl in a bikini, plenty of games have that, so why are you censoring that?
Yeah, it's like it was like sun rays blocking the body of the girl, and the PS4 version, and the Vita version, it wasn't censored. The Vita version wasn't censored, but the PS4 version was censored. She had the towel over her boobs, but the PC version, the towel was over her boobs, but you see like an outline, you see like her nipple on the side. So it's like, okay, I get the getting rid of the nipples for the the Vita thing, but it's just, why would you put the sun rays? Just makes no sense.
Well, because like most of the Senran Kagura games, so I import the Vita, the first one, Shinobi Versus.
I remember that
way back when, and then like when you like defeat one of the girls, like she literally gets naked, but like you said, there's like a little sun ray or like a ray of light over the private part.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but it's like that is like way worse than almost anything they're censoring. I feel like because I can't think of any, like they're not. It's not like a I don't know, like a sex game or something. Or nothing weird.
You're not becoming cat panions with cat girls, okay? Yeah, I don't get it. It's like, why are you doing this, Sony? Please don't censor things like swimsuit DLC my biggest worry is getting rid of like very tame scenes from JRPGs.
Yeah.
There's just like, the girls in like the girl and the guy are in like a spicy situation, but it's funny because they're like, it's an awkward situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think hopefully they won't go that far. I don't think they will.
Yeah. So in the meantime, buy it on PC.
There you go.
If you really want that. But Sony, get your act together. I'm pointing at the camera. I was pointing at the fan for some reason. Get your act together. From Kurt, what is one game that you regret not picking up at launch?
That's an interesting question. The only game where I feel like it would have really mattered. Is your dad playing guitar? The only type of game where I feel like it's really fun to be a part of the zeitgeist is like a Souls game. Those games are so cryptic, and it's kind of fun to like figure it out with everybody else. And it would have been really fun to play Bloodborne at launch. That's one of the Souls games that the only one I ever beat, and I really got into that game. But I didn't buy it at launch. And it would have been fun to play that with everybody else and kind of figure it out together. And then I guess the only other one I can think of is Dragon Quest, because it would have just been fun to be part of that conversation as it was happening. But
yeah.
Mine have usually have to do with new fighting games. If you're like way behind, like a third season, you don't know any of the matchups. You don't know what characters do, so it takes a long time to learn everything. Like you have to learn every single character and how they play, and it's way easier to be there right when the game comes out, and so you learn the characters. You're at the same level as everyone else. Like everyone's learning the new characters and stuff like that.
Yep.
Let's see. I would say the most recent example that I can think of will be Octopath. That would have been fun to play with everyone else, like during that first month.
Yeah, Nick.
Sorry.
Still has his unopened copy.
No, it's open.
Oh. His unplayed copy.
Yeah. I played the demo and it was like 33 hours long, right?
Yeah, it's a long demo.
So.
Yep.
Sorry, I was trying to get the guitar to stop. What am I doing?
Game and
What, did you do that? Did you say your
Octopath.
Octopath? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Smash Myths.
You didn't say yours.
Yeah, I did.
Nikolai?
I said fighting games.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you did.
Smash Myths. In the spirit of Halloween, who's your favorite horror movie monster / villain?
See, this is a weird question because by favorite, do you mean the one that scared you the most or the one that is just like a good villain? Because the one that scared me the most is definitely the xenomorph from Aliens.
There you go. And it's probably
Like,
your
without
favorite
question.
too.
I don't know if it's my favorite. It's like, yeah, it's horrific. It kills people in really disgusting ways, but it's a good movie.
Mine would be, you don't even see this monster. The Thing.
The Thing.
I can't think
Thing
of
from
anyone.
another
I'm not a big fan of horror movies, so.
Yeah, it's just The Thing. You don't know who's the Thing, who's been absorbed, and when they transform, it's horrific. They become these amorphous blobs of flesh and scary stuff.
Just gotta set it on fire.
You just gotta burn it. And Devil doesn't watch horror movies. Part 2. Which horror monster would you want to see show up in a JRPG as a boss? Not just a generic vampire or zombie, but a specific horror character.
I mean, that's kind of happened before. But
Yeah, mine has too.
yeah.
So,
Which ones have happened for you?
like The Thing, it's like necromorphs from
Yeah.
Dead Space. Same, pretty much the same.
Those showed up as JRPG boss fights?
I'm pretty sure there's something like that, like Wells, Wells from Xenogears.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't really think of any like really scary JRPG boss fights or ones that I would want to be a boss.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, I don't know.
Can you imagine just fighting a giant xenomorph?
It'd be pretty scary. Yep. I don't know. I don't have a good answer. Sorry.
I like how, speaking of xenomorphs in Xenogears, when you fight those Wells, that their moves is called murder, and they just kill your character instantly and drink you, and they just heal. It's like, okay, that's cool.
No, I thought, wasn't it like Red Rum, or isn't that what they?
That's what they were called, Red Rum, yeah.
Yeah, Red Rum.
But the freaking ability was called murder.
Yeah.
And he just stabs you.
Yeah, he just stabs you.
And just drinks blood and then throws you.
Oh,
And then I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Instant kill,
kill.
100% chance. All right. Shia MS, do you legitimately believe the types of Persona spin-offs will remain the same for Persona 6 and beyond as they were up until now, as in the dancing and fighting games? Or do you think Atlas will innovate more from here?
As long as they keep selling well, I say yes.
Yeah, I think they're just going to keep
Yeah.
making the same ones because that's what people want.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for Persona 5 Arena.
Yeah.
Give it time. Maybe next year sometime. I've been thinking about this. I was wondering what else could they possibly do, because obviously the core RPG you don't want to like go stray too far from that. Or like if you did like an action game or something like that, it's so close you might as well just incorporate it into the main game. But like, yeah, the dancing games are fun little side things. Same with the fighting games. I can't really, and then the Persona Q, which is like a straight up just a dungeon crawler.
What if they?
I can't really think of anything else they could do.
What if they actually make like a side game? Like, it's a game that's based in the world of the certain Persona game. It's a side story, and it's like it has a different gameplay, like Dirge of Cerberus or what is the other one?
Technically that's
Catherine.
I guess.
Yeah, that's I was gonna say didn't they do that with Catherine?
In a way, because
Yeah.
I mean, Catherine's in Persona 3 Portable.
Yeah.
Just imagine you play as Elizabeth while looking for the one that she's looking for.
That'd be interesting.
It's just a game.
Or you're like the reporter chick from Persona 5 or something, and you just got to go around and chase down stories or something.
You're just a random dude in the classroom of the Phantom Thieves, and you just try to figure out who the Phantom Thieves are.
That wouldn't be very hard.
Because I know the
you play
Yakuza
as the
series is
Shogi
doing
girl.
something similar where you play as a cop with this new Judge Eyes game that's coming out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're doing something like that.
There you go. You play as Makoto's sister, and it's like a cop game.
I would actually be 100% down for something like that.
That'd be cool.
You are the villain.
Dun.
Kurt, what JRPG do you believe to have the best Halloween-esque feel?
Ooh, that's a good question.
There's only one that I know, and it's Shadow Hearts.
Shadow Hearts. Well,
And then the first one, not two.
Kadelka / Shadow Hearts series because
Oh,
they're
yeah.
kind of connected because they're more or less connected.
That's a PS1 game, right? The first
Yeah,
one?
Kadelka's a PS1
And Shadow
PlayStation 1
Hearts
game.
is just horror-themed.
Yeah,
But Shadow Hearts 2 is more lighthearted.
yeah, they brighten things up with Shadow Hearts 2, but Kadelka and Shadow Hearts 1 are definite horror themed.
There are a couple that come to mind. The first, I know this isn't now. It's not much of a JRPG series, but the first Parasite Eve is definitely more of a JRPG, and that has like kind of a
Parasite Eve
atmospheric,
1.
spooky vibe to it. And then another game I never played, but every time I look at it, it just looks like a Tim Burton movie. Okage Shadow
I
King.
love Okage.
I've never played it, but it looks cool. It
Yeah.
has like a really neat style to it.
Yeah, it's very Tim Burton-esque with some of like the humor and the whimsicalness of it.
Good game though, because I know it's a
Yeah.
PS2 classic on PS4. I think.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
think
on.
it
Yeah,
is,
I have
yeah.
it downloaded.
Oh, well, there's a lot of PS2 JRPGs you can play on
Yeah.
PS4 now, Taylor.
Yeah,
There you
it's rather archaic, but it's not. It's kind of short at the same time, though.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're visible encounters, not random encounters. So
That's
I would say
a killer
the-
right there.
The Halloween Town from Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, Halloween Town from Kingdom Hearts. Most Halloween-esque feel ever.
I'm trying to think. It's like-
Yeah,
yeah, it does have visible encounters. 'Cause I'm trying to think if that's just on the world map or is that in dungeons as well.
Is there any other horror?
I remember we did an episode when we first started the show where we had Casey on and with Connor, and we were trying to think of like horror themed JRPGs, and there really aren't that many.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
are.
it's really not.
I know
that's
a lot
a
of
market.
people like to. There you go.
Tap into it, guys.
It's called what's that? Costume Quest.
Yeah, Costume Quest.
I mean, it's technically made by a Western team, but it's turn-based battles, exploring a little town.
Is
Uh,
Corpse Party a JRPG or is it a horror game?
It's a horror game. That's
yeah,
straight horror game.
it's more like an adventure game.
Yeah.
There's no combat, from what I remember. Unless I know a lot of people like to tie in Castlevania Symphony of the Night, but I don't really count that as a JRPG. That's more of like its own thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. If you have any Halloween night JRPGs, just tell us because it's really hard to find them or to think of any.
Bloodborne, I guess, if that counts. You got your spooky castle, you got your scary monsters.
If Bloodborne is a JRPG, then Castlevania Symphony of the Night is.
Yeah.
Fine.
Disgaea.
Oh yeah, there you go.
That's
yeah,
like
this Gaia can count. This Gaia
it's
1
sup-
counts.
Yeah, and it's super
Halloweeny, not scary Halloween. It feels like a Halloween game.
Yeah, it's quirky.
You know what's a Halloween game for me? Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
I thought you were gonna say like Tales of Destiny. Tales of Destiny. Great Halloween game.
Just because I played it one day,
I mean, the ghost ship trope is a rampant thing in JRPGs, so...
In the PS1 JRPGs. There's a ghost ship in Xenogears, Taylor.
Yeah.
And in Nino Kuni.
Yeah,
The first Nino Kuni is a ghost ship.
Chrono Cross has one.
Grandia has one.
Yeah, Grandia has one.
God, I'm trying to... Yeah, there's a lot of ghost ships.
Seiken Densetsu 3 on the Super Nintendo has one.
I'm pretty sure Legend of
Dragoon.
Yeah, Dragoon has one.
I think Legend of Legaia has one as well.
Yeah.
I remember when we did our top 5, we did like a top 5 tropes, and I think that was one of the ones that I did.
Yeah, ghost ship.
I don't know. I just love the ghost ship trope, so...
It hasn't been there
No,
for
me
a long
too.
time.
I love it.
It has to fit in the story.
Yeah.
Not like ghost ship.
Yeah, you're right. I think there is one in Grandia, Nick. So there's Grandia.
It's like very early in Grandia.
Of course it's in Grandia. That's my favorite scene.
Yeah.
Because Justin, it's like, oh, there's something warm right here.
What's this soft, mushy thing?
Justin, slap. He doesn't even mean to. It's just because it's dark.
Oops. There's definitely one in Bravely Default. I just googled it, but yeah, there's one in Bravely Default.
Yeah, there is one in Bravely Default.
One in Wild Arms, the first Wild Arms.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. There's one in the first Wild Arms.
What else? I can't think of anything else.
I like how they did it in the first Wild Arms, though. I won't spoil that one, but I do like how that played out.
Isn't there technically one? Oh god, what game was it? Was it Ease? No, it wasn't Ease.
I'm pretty sure there is one in Ease. Yes, there's one.
Yeah, Ease 8 has
There's one in Ease 8.
Yeah, Ease 8 has
I
one.
mean, there has to be. They're on like an abandoned island. I feel like they just have to.
Was it actually a ghost ship though, or was it like a special mechanic going on? I forgot.
It was technically a ghost ship.
It was a ghost ship.
Oh, Lost Spear has one too. More like it's...
Oh, Lost Sphere?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's more like an area, but that's basically what it is. More like a ship graveyard sort of thing.
All right. Well, that is the end of our questions. So it's been a pretty long episode.
I know. It's been like, I was looking at the time, I'm like, we're getting close to 2 hours or more than.
Yeah. So that is the end of today's episode. Thanks for listening, guys. If you haven't, please subscribe on YouTube and comment what you think below. If you want to talk to us, best way to do it is through about this episode for sure. Is on the YouTube comments. If you want to join our community, the Discord link is below. He's from our Discord. That's where we met him, So maybe you'll be up here soon too. Yeah, a lot of people just talk about JRPGs, gaming in general, anime. Just watch out for Abe. Don't take him seriously. He's Abe.
Yeah.
So, yeah. If you are listening on iTunes, even if you're listening on YouTube, give us a rating on iTunes. It helps us. It gives us more exposure to the iTunes world. It helps us out greatly. And thank you, and we'll be back next week. See ya.